Today, on the last day of 2025, a momentous event unfolded in the heart of Washington, D.C. As the nation prepared to ring in a new year, the Supreme Court delivered a decision that will echo for decades, sending shockwaves through the legal and political landscape. The highest court in the land handed down a ruling that instantly became the focus of national attention, with legal experts, lawmakers, and citizens alike scrambling to understand its full impact. In a landmark ruling, Duncan vs. Bonta, the court struck down state bans on high-capacity magazines, declaring such restrictions unconstitutional under the Second Amendment. This decision marks a pivotal moment in the ongoing debate over gun rights and gun control in America. This isn't a minor tweak, it's a seismic shift in American gun control. The ruling fundamentally alters the legal landscape, setting a new precedent that will guide courts and lawmakers for years to come. Laws in states like California, Washington, and Illinois that banned magazines over 10 rounds are now invalid. Overnight, millions of gun owners in these states find themselves under a new legal reality, as previously prohibited magazines are suddenly legal to possess and use. Gun rights advocates see this as a massive victory, affirming their argument that magazines are essential components of modern firearms and protected by the Second Amendment. For years, they have fought in courts and legislatures, insisting that such bans infringe on fundamental rights. The decision builds on the 2022 Bruin case, signaling the court's willingness to take an expansive view of gun rights. By reinforcing the idea that the Second Amendment protects not just the right to own firearms, but also the accessories and components that make them functional, the court has set a new standard for evaluating gun laws. This ruling is the result of years of legal battles and conflicting lower court decisions, making Supreme Court intervention inevitable. Lower courts across the country have struggled to interpret the scope of the Second Amendment, leading to a patchwork of laws and inconsistent rulings. The legal foundation for some of the most common gun control measures of the past 30 years has been swept away. State legislatures that once relied on these bans as a cornerstone of their public safety strategies must now reconsider their approach. The debate now shifts from whether states can ban these magazines to what regulations, if any, are still permissible. Lawmakers, legal scholars, and advocacy groups are already preparing for the next round of legal and political battles as they seek to define the boundaries of permissible regulation. This forces a national reckoning on the balance between public safety and individual rights. Communities across the country are grappling with how to protect citizens from gun violence while respecting constitutional freedoms. The implications are profound, affecting not just gun owners, but every community grappling with gun violence. Victims' families, law enforcement, and public health officials are all left to wonder how this new legal reality will shape the future of safety in America. Across the nation, state governments are scrambling to respond. Some are considering new legislation to comply with the ruling, while others are exploring alternative strategies to address gun violence. Legal analysts predict a wave of new lawsuits as the boundaries of the court's decision are tested in real-world scenarios. The story is just beginning, and its consequences will be felt for years. As the dust settles, Americans are left to navigate a dramatically altered, legal landscape, one that will shape the nation's approach to gun rights and public safety for generations. The landscape of American gun law has fundamentally changed, ushering in a new era of legal and political challenges that will define the future of the Second Amendment. High-capacity magazines, those holding more than 10 rounds, are at the center of this debate. Gun rights advocates call them standard capacity, noting many firearms are designed for 15, 20, or 30 rounds. Bans gained momentum after mass shootings, with proponents arguing that limiting capacity can save lives by forcing shooters to reload. Critics argue bans are ineffective, hard to enforce, and disadvantage law-abiding citizens, since millions of these magazines are already in circulation. This clash, public safety versus self-defense, drove the issue to the Supreme Court. The legal fight over magazine bans was a classic constitutional tug-of-war. Gun control advocates argued magazines are accessories, not arms, and can be regulated for public safety. They likened high-capacity magazines to machine guns, unusual and dangerous, not needed for self-defense. Gun rights groups countered that magazines are essential to modern firearms, and banning them effectively bans the guns themselves. They cited the Bruin decision, arguing there's no historical tradition of banning magazines by capacity. Millions of Americans use these magazines for lawful purposes, making them in common use and protected. the Supreme Court ultimately found the bans lacked constitutional basis. The Supreme Court's majority opinion in Duncan v. Bonta extended the Bruin framework. The court ruled that magazines are protected as arms because they're essential to modern firearms in common use. States failed to show any historical precedent for banning magazines based on capacity. The court dismissed public safety arguments, emphasizing that constitutional rights can't be overridden by modern concerns. The new standard gun laws must be rooted in American history and tradition, not means-end scrutiny. This decision signals that all future gun control laws will face a much higher bar. The message: Second Amendment protections are broad and apply to weapons commonly owned today. The immediate effect of this Supreme Court decision is dramatic and far-reaching. State bans on magazines holding more than 10 rounds are now officially unconstitutional. This ruling instantly invalidates laws that have been in place for years, affecting millions of gun owners and law enforcement agencies across the country. Overnight, the legal landscape for firearms has shifted, and states must respond quickly to comply with the new constitutional standard. Gun owners in states like California, New York, New Jersey, and others can now legally buy, own, and possess standard capacity magazines that were previously banned. For many, this means the ability to purchase magazines that are commonly available in most of the country, restoring access to equipment that was once restricted. Gun stores are expected to see a surge in sales as pent-up demand is unleashed. Retailers will likely experience long lines and rapid sellouts as customers rush to take advantage of the new legal environment. Distributors and manufacturers may also ramp up shipments to meet the sudden spike in demand. Law enforcement agencies and prosecutors must quickly adapt, dropping pending criminal cases related to magazine capacity and retraining staff on the new legal standards. Police departments will need to update their policies and inform officers about the changes to avoid wrongful arrests or prosecutions. States may try to pass new regulations or find alternative ways to regulate magazine capacity, but any new laws will face tough legal challenges under the Supreme Court's ruling. Lawmakers will need to carefully consider how to craft legislation that can withstand judicial scrutiny. The process of unwinding these long-standing laws will be messy and confusing at first. Courts, attorneys, and citizens will all have questions about what is now allowed, and it may take months for the dust to settle and for clear guidance to emerge. It's important to note that other gun regulations, such as background checks, waiting periods, and prohibitions for felons, remain firmly in place. This ruling only affects magazine capacity laws, not the broader framework of gun control. The Supreme Court's decision redraws the boundaries of what states can regulate when it comes to firearms, setting a new precedent that will influence future legal battles and legislation. Legislatures must now find new approaches that can survive the Supreme Court's strict historical test, fundamentally changing how gun laws are written and enforced in the United States. This decision intensifies America's culture war over guns. Gun control advocates see it as a threat to public safety, arguing the founders never envisioned modern firearms. They'll push for new federal laws or even constitutional amendments. Gun rights supporters see the ruling as a restoration of a fundamental right, protecting self-defense and checking government overreach. For millions, owning an AR-15 with a 30-round magazine is about security, not violence. The court has affirmed that choice. The Supreme Court's magazine ruling puts assault weapon bans on shaky ground. These laws target popular semi-automatic rifles like the AR-15. Gun rights groups will argue these rifles are in common use and protected, just like their magazines. The Bruin test makes it nearly impossible for states to justify bans without historical precedent. The court has protected the component. The next step may be protecting the whole firearm. Major challenges to assault weapon bans are already moving through the courts. Lower courts will have to reconsider previous decisions in light of Duncan. The fight over rifles is about to reach its climax. The legal and political fight over guns in America has entered a new and uncertain phase, one that is reshaping the way laws are written, challenged, and enforced across the country. Recent court decisions have sent shockwaves through the legal system, forcing lawmakers, judges, and citizens alike to reconsider what is possible and what is off-limits when it comes to regulating firearms. The landmark case, Duncan v. Bonta, has set a high bar for gun regulations, requiring that any new law must be justified by clear historical precedent. This means that lawmakers can no longer rely solely on modern arguments about public safety. Instead, they must look to the past to defend their policies in court. gun rights advocates are seizing this opportunity to challenge a wide range of restrictions, from bans on certain firearm features to mandatory waiting periods and licensing requirements. They argue that many of these laws lack roots in American history and are therefore unconstitutional under the new standard. In response, gun control proponents are shifting their strategies. Some are working to craft new laws that closely mirror historical regulations, hoping to withstand legal scrutiny. Others are turning their focus to political solutions, such as ballot initiatives and grassroots campaigns, to build public support for gun safety measures. The Supreme Court has now defined the constitutional boundaries for gun laws, but the real battle is just beginning. The cultural debate over guns, shaped by deeply held beliefs about rights, safety, and freedom, will play a crucial role in determining what happens next in communities across the nation. As the conversation about gun violence and public safety continues, some measures, like bans on high-capacity magazines, are now off the table in many places. But the urgency to address gun violence remains, and communities are searching for new ways to keep people safe. Today, America's gun law landscape is a patchwork of new legal strategies, ongoing court battles, and a debate that is more polarized than ever. The future of gun regulation will be shaped not just by the courts, but by the voices and actions of people across the country.